There are 10 specific financial patterns that keep you trapped in the average life, and most people don't even know they're living inside them. They work because they seem normal, accepted by everyone, so you never question them. Check now. How many of these patterns can you identify in your life? In the next few minutes, you'll discover each one and the immediate step to escape each trap. 1. The car that traps you. More than 1 in 4 new cars are traded in while still carrying active debt. A person walks into a dealership, sees the car of their dreams, and ignores that they'll pay interest on vanity for 5 years. The desire for status is the most expensive debt that exists. If you're paying for a car that costs more than 30% of your annual income, you're trapped. Marcus Aurelius said that wealth lies in not desiring what is unnecessary. A car is transportation, not identity. Pause now and ask yourself, what is the real value of the car you have or want? Not the price on the sticker, but the total cost in interest, insurance, maintenance, and lost investment. Write that number down. If you're already locked into a financing agreement, calculate how many months remain and multiply by your payment. You'll see how much you'll still pay. If the total is more than $1,000, sell and buy something used without debt. If you're thinking about buying now, set one rule. The car cannot cost more than 20% of your annual income. Pay it off in no more than 3 years. With that settled comes the second trap, and you don't even realize you're inside it. It works every day, silently, and costs more than you imagine. 2. Immediate pleasure disguised as choice. Buy now, pay later already affects nearly 40% of Americans, and it seems harmless because you don't see explicit interest on the first purchase. The illusion is that you have control. You choose to split payments, you choose how much to spend, but you're actually choosing to live with impulses that have an expiration date. Each installment is a reminder that you bought something you didn't have money to pay for. When you reach your 3rd or 4th split purchase, you don't even notice anymore that you're paying invisible interest on financial habits that destroy your cash flow. Epictetus taught that true power lies in distinguishing what is in our control from what is not. And here it is. You control the impulse, or the impulse controls you. Do this now. Open your shopping app and see how many active payment plans you have. Not to scare yourself, but to see reality. Write down the total number. If you have fewer than 3 split purchases, you're still safe. Keep it that way and never exceed 2 at once. If you have 3 or more, you've entered the money pattern that creates the illusion of choice. In that case, freeze new split purchases for 30 days and watch the money accumulate. If you have more than 5, you're trapped and you need an exit plan. List them all, order by smallest amount, and pay the first one off completely in 30 days. With that clear comes the third pattern. And this one is even more silent because you feel nothing while it's happening. 3. The money sitting idle. There are trillions of dollars sleeping in savings accounts that earn less than 1% per year, while inflation consumes 2 to 3% of your buying power. It's not bad luck. It's lack of intention and financial awareness about where money should be working. You put money in an account, see the balance grow slowly, and think you're secure, but you're actually losing money in silence. Money without purpose weakens. What doesn't work decays. Seneca said that whoever doesn't make decisions about their money lets others decide for them. And here inflation is deciding. Check now. How much do you have in regular savings? What interest rate does your bank offer? If you don't know, find out in the next 5 minutes. This information will change everything. If you have less than $5,000 saved, keep it in a high-yield savings account. There are accounts that earn 3 to 4% per year. If you have between $5,000 and $20,000, consider splitting it. Half in high-yield savings for emergencies, half in a low-risk fixed income fund. If you have more than 20,000, you're wasting money. Some should be in investments that keep pace with inflation, Roth IRA, index funds, or treasury bonds. The next pattern affects even those who think they're prepared, and most people will recognize themselves in it right now. 4. The absence of preparedness. 6 out of 10 people cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt or borrowing money. This means most people live their entire lives on the edge of financial collapse, where a broken car or unexpected medical bill becomes a crisis. Without a reserve, any unexpected event turns into debt, and debt turns into years of recovery. The money pattern here is simple. You're living on 100% of what you earn when you should be living on 90%. Marcus Aurelius taught that the wise person anticipates problems, the distracted one prays when they arrive. Do this now. How much do you have saved that you could use in an emergency without touching investments? If the answer is 0 or very little, you're trapped. Write that number down and compare it to $1,000. If you have less than $1,000 in emergency savings, your priority is to accumulate that amount before any investment. Set aside 10% of your monthly salary into a separate account until you reach it. If you have between $1,000 and $3,000, congratulations, but you're still vulnerable. Keep going until you have at least 3 months of expenses saved. If you have more than 3 months of expenses set aside, you've escaped the money pattern that traps most people. Now comes the pattern you don't see because it's disguised as success. And the better you do, the more dangerous it becomes. 5. The false sense of being above average. Having a few thousand in your account doesn't mean stability. It's just idle money you mistake for security. Wealth is not what you see in your bank statement, but what remains when everything goes wrong and you're still standing. Many people earn well, seem to be above average, but live in the same money pattern as most. They spend everything, don't invest, and are always one emergency away from bankruptcy. Comparing yourself to those who have less is the first step to losing focus on what really matters. Epictetus said that freedom doesn't come from how much you earn, but from how much you control your spending. And here's the point. Ask yourself now, if you lost your job today, how many months could you last without going into debt? If the answer is less than 3, you're not above average, just more visible. Calculate that number. If you could last less than 3 months, you have high income but low freedom, and you need to cut expenses immediately, not increase them. If you could last between 3 and 6 months, you're average, better than most, but still vulnerable. If you could last more than a year, then you've started building real wealth. The real threshold isn't your salary, it's your savings rate. The next pattern affects billions of dollars every year, and you've probably already let your share slip away without realizing it. 6. The forgotten investment. Thousands of people believe they're investing, but the money is sitting in accounts that don't earn anything or in investments they forgot they made. Some leave years of contributions to 401k or Roth IRA without checking where the money was actually placed, losing returns because it's sitting in cash or in the wrong funds. The problem isn't a lack of opportunity, it's a lack of attention and financial awareness about where your money really is. Forgotten investment is money working against you, not for you. Seneca taught that negligence is the most expensive form of ignorance, and here it costs thousands in lost returns. Do this now. Verify where every dollar you've invested is: 401k, Roth IRA, brokerage, fund. If you don't know, you're losing money. Write down each balance and the return rate. If you have less than 5,000 in investments, start now with a low-cost index fund. The S&P 500 is the simplest step. If you have between 5,000 and 50,000, review where it all is. If half is in cash or in funds with fees above 1% per year, reallocate immediately to index funds. If you have more than 50,000, you need a clear strategy. Diversify between stocks, bonds, and funds, depending on your age and risk tolerance. The next pattern explains why most people prefer to lose money rather than put money to work. And it's more common than you think. 7. The fear of movement. The market fluctuates every year, but over 10 years it tends to double. And yet many people prefer the false security of staying put to actually making real money. Staying still is the riskiest investment that exists, because inflation devours your buying power while you sleep peacefully. A person sees a 5% market drop and sells everything in fear, missing the recovery that follows, repeating this cycle until they grow old poor. The money pattern here is clear: fear disguised as prudence. Marcus Aurelius said that the obstacle is the way, and here fear is the obstacle blocking you. Face it now. Do you have money sitting idle out of fear of the market? If so, calculate how much you've lost to inflation over the last 5 years. Multiply your balance by 2 to 3% per year. That's your real cost. If you have less than 20,000 invested, the market won't ruin you. Start with $100 in an index fund and watch the money grow. If you have between 20,000 and 100,000, invest consistently every month, regardless of how the market is performing. This neutralizes fear. If you have more than 100,000, you should already have a long-term strategy. Don't check your account every day. Check it every 3 months. Now comes the pattern that looks like success, but is actually a prison with a mortgage, and it affects billions of people. 8. The house as a trap. The average age to buy a first home has risen to 38 years, and what was once a symbol of success has become a form of social debt that traps entire generations. Not every achievement is freedom. Sometimes it's just a prison with a pretty facade and 30 years of payments ahead. A person buys the house of their dreams, works to pay for it, and never has time to live in it or enjoy anything else. The money pattern here is confusing ownership with happiness, debt with progress. Seneca taught that owning many things doesn't make you rich. It only multiplies the chains that bind us. Ask yourself now, does your house free you or trap you? How much do you pay each month in mortgage, taxes, and maintenance? If it's more than 30% of your gross income, you bought beyond your means. Calculate that percentage. If you're paying a mortgage for more than 30 years, you're trapped. Consider selling and buying something smaller, or renting for 5 years while you build real wealth. If you're between 20 and 30%, you're safe, but not making progress. Use the difference to invest. If you're below 20%, you made the right purchase. Keep the rest of your salary invested, never reinvesting in unnecessary renovations. Now comes the most dangerous pattern of all, the one that makes you earn 6 figures and still lie awake at night in fear, because the wealth you see doesn't actually exist. 9. The illusion of being among the rich. To enter the top 10% of wealth, you need a little over $1 million in net worth, but many earn well and still live tight, spending everything that comes in. High income without self-control is just luxury with invisible chains, because you work to maintain the illusion, not to build real wealth. The high salary masks reality. You're broke, just in an expensive way. The money pattern here is the most deceptive of all, looking rich while you're dying of financial fear. Marcus Aurelius said that true wealth is the kind no one sees, because it's saved, invested, working silently. Do this now. Add up everything you own, house, cars, investments, accounts, and subtract all your debts. That number is your real wealth, not your salary. If the result is negative or close to zero, you're not rich, just well paid. If your income is high but your net worth is low, you're in the pattern. You need to save at least 20 to 30% of your monthly salary, or you'll grow old broke. If you can manage that, in 10 years, you'll have over $100,000 invested. If you can't, cut expenses now, because high income that disappears is just an illusion with an expiration date. The last pattern reveals the truth that changes everything, and few have the courage to face what it reveals. 10. The truth about wealth. Two investors can have exactly the same income. One earns $100,000 per year and saves $5,000. The other earns $100,000 and saves $10,000. In 20 years, the difference between them will be $1 million. The difference between 5% and 10% savings changes the trajectory of an entire decade. Wealth isn't about earning more, it's about controlling better, saving more, investing earlier. The most powerful return doesn't come from the market, it comes from discipline. Epictetus taught that real power lies in choosing one thing well and doing it with excellence, and here that one thing is your savings rate. Calculate now. How much do you earn per month? How much do you save? Divide the second by the first and multiply by 100. That's your real savings percentage. If it's less than 10%, you're losing. If you save less than 5%, you're in the pattern. And you need to cut expenses immediately, not wait for a raise. If you save between 5 and 10%, you're doing better but still vulnerable. Increase to 15% by cutting one big thing: car, house, or subscription. If you save more than 20%, you've understood the secret. Keep it up, and in 10 years you'll have more wealth than 90% of people. You've just identified the 10 money patterns that keep billions of people trapped in the average life. And now you know that this prison isn't inevitable. It's a choice you can deconstruct starting today. The line that separates those who build wealth from those who merely survive is no longer invisible. You've seen it clearly in every pattern. Recognizing the trap is the first step to escaping it, and you've already taken that step. The question now isn't whether you can escape, it's when you'll start. So tell me, which pattern did you identify with most? Comment below. And if this video brought you value, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's rethinking how they handle money. Stay on the path of prosperity. Until we meet again.